No, so I'm standing there ankle deep in the water, and I see a shark come swimming through there, and I'm like, oh my God, shark's like 5-10 feet from me. And then I noticed behind that shark, there's two great big GTs come cruising through, and I had that plastic, and I tossed it out there, jigged it twice, and sucked it in, and I was on, and it was like, ripped that line out, and I started yelling, GT, GT. The danger of having a big fish on in shallow water is there was a lot of coral out there, a lot of bommies, and that fish is swimming back and forth out there, and it had half the reel of line out by that time. And Andrew was guiding me on how to catch the fish and telling me, you know, lift the line up, lift the line up. I'm like, I can't, my arms are tired.
Today we're running a fishing survival experiment. A deserted island in the middle of the Coral Sea, a fishing guide, 2 foreign visitors, limited amount of tackle with the goal of catching a certain number of fish. What possibly could go wrong? Gentlemen, welcome to Z-Man Island.
Hey. All right. Carl and I have been talking for years about coming to Australia, and I finally said when I turned 50.
We're on this nomad 1-week exploration trip to see some of the great GTs and fish of Australia.
We're going to have a little game of survival that will rely on your fishing skill. We've got some international visitors with guide Andy. You gentlemen thought you were out for a day's GT fishing. The plan's about to go horribly wrong. You're going to be split, you're going to be competing against each other. But as a group, we have to catch 10 fish to survive. No, it doesn't matter about size, species, just 10 fish. In amongst that 10 fish, we have to catch one fish that is legal and we can eat, because we want to eat one while we're here. The only gear we can use is in that box. So we have a somewhat limited supply of gear. As a group, we catch 10, but you two gentlemen are competing against each other. So most fish at the end of a 4-hour session, you get crowned king of the island. And the loser caters at the end of it as well. So that's the consequence. We've brought with us our tribal conch shell. Whoever gets the shell gets Andy, second place gets me. Captain Texas, stage name, you get to choose which hand. Da-na-na-na. You're with Andy. George Clowney, stage name,
Nige.
you're with me. We have 4 hours, that's the gear, it's very hot. Drink your water, get fishing.
All right.
There's a job to get done.
Let's do it.
Let's go, Pete.
Go.
Paddle tail plastics, little jerk shads, a range of different weighted jig heads.
Light and shiny and dark, I pretty much have the gamut covered. I was a little nervous about the challenge because I like winning. Hey,
All right.
we take that, we got him. That's the only leader.
He's got a lot of experience. It's going to be difficult to beat him. I was counting on Nige. Hopefully, he'd be my partner and pull me through and give me some pointers.
Okay, we'll mix and match. So one of us fish a jerk shad.
Okay.
You like the paddle tail, we'll go 3 1/8-ounce jig head. It's probably good for, we're fishing at 1 to 3 metres. So it'll get to bottom without getting there too quickly. That means that's going to swim both ways. You either roll it, and as it's sinking, it's going to put out some vibrations. So if there's anything hunting here, they're going to hone in on that pretty quick, and I'll work a bit of a quicker retrieve with that. So between us,
Excellent.
that's a starting point.
So, on the board.
We have one.
Got one.
Nice little trevally.
The challenge started off with a bang. I lost my first lure on a big fish. I have no idea what it was. It got snagged on a bommy, and someone was yelling at me, "Don't go in the water because I might get some gear wet."
Hey, come back! Come out!
Get him out
Microphone!
So I lost that one, and I immediately ran back, tied up. I put the same lure on and cast it out there.
As soon as they get on that sand, you want them to eat it over that rock. They don't like coming too far in the sea. Oh, Pete's on.
Pete's on.
Oh, it's a trout. All right, this is primo. It's one of the best eating fish on the reef. And you've caught it shore-based in 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Still in the show, and the fishing's on.
there we
Oh,
go.
trouble.
Alrighty, Pete, looks like we'll be having lunch today. I don't know about the other guys, but I've got a good little recipe to cook these 2 nice fish up.
Oh, no. It's a counter. Followed all the way to the boat. That's the beauty of soft plastics, as you can miss a fish a couple of times, a lot of them will keep coming. It's so soft and lifelike that they're not worried about the fact that it's a little bit hard on a hook point. They think what they've eaten is real. Carl, that's a tusk fish.
Okay.
One of our hard fighting reef species. Beautiful to eat.
It's got some teeth.
Look at the teeth on him. He's
Whoa.
just made for crushing up coral and hard stuff. It's 5 for the group. I think we're what, 2, 3. It's good. We're coming back. If you're shore-based in a location like this and you want to go and fish your soft plastics, there's probably 2 predominant techniques or tactics that you're going to use, and a lot of them involve sight fishing. First, I'm going to look for structure, and that's the deeper stuff, and I'm going to look for darker structure. That makes sense, that's where fish and bait's going to hang. I want to choose a jig head weight which is going to get me to it, and then I want to get close to that structure. Let the plastic get to bottom. As soon as my line slackens off and I know I'm close to it, I'm going to jiggle that plastic up and down off the bottom, keep it close to the structure, and just keep working that plastic through the main zones where you think the fish will be. Always tight line to feel when the bites come along, or if you hit the bottom. The other way you can fish them is to visibly sight fish. Keep your eyes peeled, particularly on the break between the dark structure and the sand. If you can see fish cruising, cast a plastic ahead of them, stands to reason that you're going to catch them.
No, so I'm standing there ankle deep in the water, and I see a shark come swimming through there, and I'm like, oh my God, shark's like 5-10 feet from me. And then I noticed behind that shark, there's 2 great big GTs come cruising through. And I had that plastic and I tossed it out there, jigged it twice and sucked it in, and I was on, and it was like, rip that line out. And I started yelling, GT, GT. The danger of having a big fish on in shallow water is there was a lot of coral out there, a lot of bommies, and that fish is swimming back and forth out there. And it had half the reel of line out by that time. And Andrew was guiding me on how to catch the fish and telling me, you know, lift the line up, lift the line up. I'm like, I can't, my arms are tired. And he says, you gotta lift your line up. And I was like, I know how to fish. Anyway, and so after we battled for a while, pretty soon it would started running up the beach, and Andrew's like, come on, run up the beach. So I'm running up the beach after it, and then fought it for a long time, and man, my arms were getting really tired. I have to shake off my arms. Those are big, powerful fish, and we were in light gear. And so there was a time towards the end where I'd been on, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes fighting that thing, and it's hot. And finally, I'm just like, Andrew, my arms are blowing out, dude. And he's like, well, you're just gonna have to walk up the beach and then run back down the beach reeling. And so that's what I did, and that's how we got it in at the last minute.
No! No way!
Texas!
No way, Pete!
Hey!
Pete, what a fight!
All right, that was a beast.
Now, shore-based, you're not supposed to catch them. Are you?
No,
You're not supposed to catch fish that big on shore
They're hard to catch out of a boat.
with that gear. You're a legend, Pete. That is extremely impressive.
That is.
Dion, I was excited for him. I mean, you're losing bad, but it's just good to see your buddy hooked up on a nice GT right off the shore.
Oh, there we go. A long time, one of our more savage predators on the reef, Carl. Not one of our desirable species. Hey, Andy, can you get this one off for me? It's not one of our desired species we target typically, but in a game of numbers, we'll take the number today. Very pretty fish and very, very aggressive, and they're actually very hard to hook. They've got a hard mouth that they usually tend to throw hooks away from. In this case, I managed to get one back. And it's a mouth you don't want to get a finger anywhere near. Places like Japan, they'll sometimes grow up to 1 metre. They'll physically attack people, so the Japanese treat them with extreme caution, and I know why. If you're fishing soft plastics from shore, you're sometimes restricted, obviously by distance, to maybe good places to cast, and for that reason you want to set up your rods, reels and lines to let you cast as far as possible and still give you good sensitivity. So fishing like this, we're using 6 to 10 kilogram outfits, 30-pound braids and 40-pound leaders, and just having that low diameter line lets us cast that a little bit further, which can help dramatically when you want to get those bites. Oh, there's one. What do you got, Pete? Tusky? Very nice.
That's a new species?
It's good. Hold the rod. I see you changed your plastic.
Yeah.
Always a good idea. The bites would slow down a little
I
bit.
just changed the plastic.
Good idea.
Mixed
Good
it up a
idea.
bit.
Yep. Something new. And one of our little predators of the reef. They grow a lot bigger than that. And you can see they've got teeth made for business.
That is just
So
some
pretty.
monster teeth on that little boy.
And mate, you got another number.
And finally, I landed another little fish. That last fish was like a big deal because that kind of cinched it for our team.
Oh, good work. Get him in. Little emperor. Just want to be a little iodine to him. There it is. Not our most glamorous species, but number 10.
Yeah, number 10.
Number 10, Carl, and the bad news.
He killed me.
I have to admit defeat to Andy. Andy's taken Guides Award for the day. And you've lost the king of the island.
Good job.
Well, the good news is,
Nigel, no fish.
Nigel No Fish and Carl Clowney have to start making some food for the tribe. And then I reckon we get in this water and cool down because it's starting to get fairly warm out here. I'll let this guy go.
Yeah. So we're out on the island. It is hot. We're running out of water. We've been drinking everything we had. And that last fish, everybody was more happy about that fish than the trout or the big GT we caught out there. So it was kind of funny because it allowed us to be done with the competition and get on with the beer drinking, which was really important for us.
Bowing to Pete as king of the island. I was wondering how big his head was going to get and how long I have to hear this one for.
It was good, you know, Carl's going to have to live with that for a long time, bowing down, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that back home.